Hey, how you doing? So this is our, no, there is more, don't worry, but first, this is our talk radio version of the show, where we don't do the longer show. You've never seen this before, and I'm assuming maybe a lot of you haven't. We've been doing this for quite a while. The basketball vignettes, they're much easier to do without a show for, legal reasons. The longer football shows, it's perfectly explained why, but in bowl season it starts to get a little bit, well, you gotta know which bowl games to cover, where you can where you should be able to cover just some of the pertinent highlights of the bowl game. So we like to go through what's called a life rant, sports rant of the day. This is the one-man sports rant after all, as it pertains to the particular sporting event being discussed. In this case, it's West Virginia. And the graphic where it says about USC and West Virginia, yeah, those are the only two schools, especially with regard to USC, who had high hopes. Here you got number one, West Virginia's flying high, and I said, you'll hear one of the clips, thanks to Texas Tech. And with respect to USC, that was Stanford. So, why West Virginia? Well, we tend to bleed quite a bit of West Virginia around here. It goes back to Major Harris's days. So since then, but with respect to West Virginia of the last 5 to 6 years, it will be interesting to see, and I submit to you that it may not happen. The power play of West Virginia. Why? Because West Virginia team that we saw this year, rock and sock 'em, fighting robots, were still vestiges left over from Rich Rodriguez. And we still think that was a huge mistake for him to leave West Virginia. But, you had Pat White and Steve Slayton. Well, who was the pit at the end of that sweet peach or avocado that threw a monkey wrench in that West Virginia's national championship team? Pittsburgh. What happened last year when West Virginia ended up going to the Orange Bowl and pasting Clemson with a bunch of orange that matched their jerseys? Pittsburgh. We don't like Pitt around here a whole lot. We don't like the underdog that upsets somebody else's chances and they don't finish the deal. They almost did it to Notre Dame this year. But what am I getting at? Rich Rodriguez, Rich Rod, we'll say, goes to Michigan. Big mistake, obviously. Didn't work out. But in terms of the recruiting, Bill Johnson takes over. Bill Johnson, right? All you Mountaineer fans will know, if there are any watching. With all due respect to Syracuse, we bleed Syracuse orange around here too. But it's taken for freaking ever to get football back to where it was when Donovan was there. And we recall that Donovan rode in on the coattails of the quarterback before him at Syracuse. I know I say 10 years, but it was more than that. It's not the point. It's taken forever. We sort of forgot how to root for Syracuse football. Basketball, no problem. Anyhow, you had Jared Brown take over for Pat White. Bill Johnson was coaching. And then you have Geno Smith come in, and Dana Holgorsen takes over last year and then this year and developed him. But Geno Smith has been there, was a senior, final game, for 3 years. So, did Rich Rod recruit him, or did Bill Johnson recruit him? Matter of fact, or did he commit and sign to when Rich Rod was still there? Alright, so you have a bunch of holdovers left over from Rich Rodriguez at West Virginia. Will Dana Holgorsen be able to make it look, these coaches that take over and look so great, when their teams do well, give it 3 or 4 years, and then you'll know how good a coach they are. Alright, so we pick up the action. We always try to let you know the clipboard coming up. I've actually gone way over for this, but we like West Virginia around here, and it was very disappointing to see it end like that. Yeah, and on that final note, the BRONX is great, but there's a reason why there are no doves in Manhattan. Land space, number one. They don't play winter sports there most of the time. Do you really want to go and play a bowl game as your final game of your college career in the worst weather you played in, or at least worst weather of the year? No. Thanks for watching. Yeah, clip order coming up. Third quarter when Syracuse just pulled.
Snowflakes and penalty flags flying here in the Bronx. getting messages that we look very cold. We're warm. We got heaters and coats. It's not that fun being a quarterback down there or a receiver so far.
I think with the conditions the way they are today, we've seen a lot of sloppy plays. Whether it's been penalties or whether it's been turnovers, at times it's been players not being in the position that they're supposed to be. Take a look at the Buick playbook. West Virginia, a defense that's given up a lot of explosive plays this year. They're going to bring pressure off the top of the screen. They need two safeties deep. The quarterback, Pat Miller, very slow getting back to his half of the field. That allows Syracuse running back Prince Tyson-Gully to crease the defense all the way into the end.
Grew up in Miami. Final college game, the scouts watching, 97 touchdown passes, third active to Jones and Barkley. But this is an opponent that's given him trouble in his career. Nothing. And very uncharacteristic. Poor field position has been a factor from his 5-yard line. He finds Bailey, who scored a touchdown on the screen in the first half, gets into a foot race. Stiff arm inside the Syracuse.
You have to keep mixing it up.
Massive on 2nd and 8. Trying to get.
Whoa, hey, Johnny, look what I found.
And the first interception.
Great 1-second reflex time there.
The ball in the end zone that couldn't make the pick. Ended up being a touchdown catch.
Looks like his right hand, the defensive end's right hand, knocks the football out of Geno Smith's hand before his arm is coming forward.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was fumbled with the recovery by the defense. West Virginia starts a timeout. The head coach uses one challenge for this game.
It was worth a challenge. It was a close call, but a big play made by Brandon Sharp, who, like Shamarko Thomas,
So from one turnover to the next,
Virginia beats, concluding
bad things coming threes.
This guy's linked because,
of course,
Shamarko Thomas,
there's never a big play after a change around, a turnaround like this. However,
he's got potential. Sailing into the secondary is Prince Tyson-Gully down the sidelines, head for the end zone. And a second touchdown run of the day for Gully stretches the Syracuse lead.
Syracuse right now just having their way up front with West Virginia defensively. Everybody worried about West Virginia's pass defense coming into this game. It's been their run defense that has let them down so far.
The area for the Mountaineer offense getting inside the Syracuse 30, but inefficient when they get there. Smith almost bobbled the snap, takes a shot, moves it down, feeling for Bailey, and Bailey just shoved his defender out of the way and catches the touchdown pass. Beat up old Brandon Reddish, who was trying to cover him one-on-one.
Well, West Virginia was in a hole inside 2 points, and as you can see, it doesn't take them very long to score points again. You live and die by the blitz. If you decide to bring the heat, and you're allowing Stedman Bailey to be one on try and force them to kick a field goal, which is not guaranteed in this way.
Second and goal. Again, they flip it near side. Why not? You got to prove you can stop it. Gully launches into the end zone again in a screen. Vanilla, but effective.
This time, West Virginia had the bodies defensively to make the play. If they weren't surprised by it, they had players on the perimeter. They just couldn't.
I'm going to call this the Snowflake Bowl of the season. It's looking like.
See right here, 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, poor fundamentals.
Now the footing is not good out there, to be fair to the defense.
Yes, thank you.
They've seen that play so many times today. Syracuse answers West Virginia's touchdown drive with a 9-play, 70-yard.
Seems like Mr. Fowler has missed calling games for a couple of years, man. He's having fun. And why not?
Extend the lead back to 19.
And the results of the last down on the foul, safety.
Okay, so the lengthy explanation. Smith voicing his displeasure. A second safety for the Syracuse defense today.
Unbelievable. It's Brandon Sharp again coming around the outside. Geno Smith obviously very unhappy. There's nowhere to go. He pump fakes. Brandon Sharp puts the hand up and forces him to hold on to him for a moment.
Well, that should have been a penalty on
and I'm not even sure he got out of the tackle box anyway.
See if he did that intentionally. Yeah, that was intentional. That's a Shotokan leg sweep. A staple of
Geno obviously very, very upset. Steven's trying to get him on
linear, Okinawan karate. In fact, I'm going to do this. I don't often do this, but we're going to go back. We're gonna go back and I'm gonna show you that was intentional. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen that happen to the Syracuse. Okay, now watch. Here we go. And we go in slow-mo. Now watch. He's gonna swing that forward with being aware of what he's doing. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Yeah. That should have been a 15-yard goal the other way.
Very upset. Stevens trying to get him on the sideline. So was Daniel Holgerson. He's going to have to calm down now.
Sharp was blocked, and he just kind of whipped that right leg, caught Smith's leg.
And this is an emotional game for Geno Smith. He told us how important it was to come out here and win this game. He took this game personally, having lost 2 games against Syracuse. He wanted it worse than anybody else of West Virginia.
There's another look. Brandon Sharp made a couple of big plays, getting his right leg on Smith's left leg.
And looking at it again, it looks as though Brandon Sharp was almost trying to do that. I don't know.
Thank you, Jesse.
Or not. It looked like he knew what he was doing, and that may be what Geno Smith's so mad about.
I think it is.
Yep.
23 in the third quarter to lead at 35-14, heading to the final period here in the Bronx. Well, Jesse featured baristas and sous chefs. My New York features the nature of this city, Jesse, which is to attract talent. It's a magnet for all forms of talent. In finance and certainly in the theater, get down to Broadway, you see the immense display of talent on display every night. And the chefs as well. The great chefs from around the world gravitate to New York City, perfect the craft. So if you like to be entertained and you like to eat well, one of the reasons I love New York City.
Our Italian Tavo. What fantastic Italian restaurants. See, I knew you'd appreciate the sous chef comment earlier, because you're a foodie also.
I'm a foodie.
And you appreciate talent, Chris. That's why you live here in New York City. With your talent, this is a city
among other reasons.
made for you.
You know, people come here to make it in all forms of life, and it's something to see. It's a great place to be entertained. Every night you can see a great show.
There's nowhere else like it, really. That's what I think makes this new era Pinstripe Bowl so special.
Okay, you know what? NYU is not ahead in the bowl game. It's Syracuse.
He's in the backfield. Exchange. Smith picks it up, but doesn't get the first down.
And it's been that kind of day. We just talked about it. We talked about Jeff Braun in at center, playing that position for the first time in a game since 2009. He wondered in these conditions if that would ever manifest itself with respect to the center quarterback exchange, and it shows up at a very inopportune moment on 4th down.
Sure. MTNEERS for the season, a 47% third down conversion team. It has been a nightmare on 3rd and 4th down today. 0 for on 3rd down, 0 for 8. Haven't converted on 4th down either.
I mean, even after the fumble,
you can see he was trying to talk to the field judge.
Yep. Forward momentum.
But it just hasn't been a good day for him. You got to feel for it.
3rd down and the
West Virginia, and you can thank Texas Tech for starting a downward spiral.
Well short. I'm surprised they brought the 6 out. 0 for 11 and 0 for 8 on 3rd down.
At a certain point, it's stick a fork in at time. Thanks for watching. Yep. This is the Syracuse team we have been waiting for 10 years since Donovan McNabb graduated. They show up today in the snow. Who knew?
7-6 finish this season.